hard to believe that based on all that we've read.
I'm gonna tell you something, Gail. There's one I'm gonna tell you something.
What women said about you.
What women said about me. What women. So nobody's allowed to be mad at me and be scorned and lie on me.
Mm-hmm. So they're lying on you. That's your explanation. They're lying on you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You feel that people have maligned your character?
I have been assassinated. I have been buried alive. But I'm alive.
So I think the point you're making is, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you have never held anybody against their will.
I don't need to. Why would I? Well, how stupid would never it be for Rkelly, with all I've been through in my way past, to hold somebody, let alone 4, 5, 6, 50, you said. How stupid would I be to do that?
I didn't say you
That's stupid, guys.
I didn't.
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense. Don't forget the blogs. Forget how you feel about me. Hate me if you want to. Love me if you want. But just use your common sense. How stupid would it be for me to, with my crazy past and what I've been through, right now I just think I need to be a monster and hold girls against their will, chain them up in my basement, and don't let them eat and don't let them out unless they need some shoes down the street from their uncle. Stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing. I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I can't help 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me. You're killing me, man. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it. Y'all just don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to believe it.
At this point, we briefly pause the interview to give Kelly a moment. His publicist helped calm him down.
I hope this camera keep going.
No, we're going to let the camera keep rolling.
This is not, doesn't even make sense. Why would I hold all these women? Their mothers and fathers told me, we're going to destroy your career.
But Kelly's emotions remained raw.
It's real girls out there missing. It's real young girls out there being abducted, being raped, okay? They really are on chains. They really do have chains on their wrists, and they can't get out. Robert, and they're ending up buried in deep.
Robert, we have to have a conversation. Really. I don't want you just ranting at the camera.
I came here for them to hear me talk. But I need help.
What kind of help?
This is the kind of help I need.
Yes, what kind of help?
I need somebody to help me not have a big heart. Because my heart is so big. People betray me, and I keep forgiving them.
You sound like you're playing the victim here. You sound like Rkelly, you do. When I listen to you, it does sound like you're playing the victim
I'm just telling the truth. And the reason I'm emotional, Robert, and I apologize for that, is because this is the first time I was able to say something. I've said nothing.
Well, we're also hearing from the family of a woman who lives with Rkelly at his home. The parents of Joycelyn Savage say that the singer
ari ukohereza ubutumwa abandi bagabo b'ibikomerezwa bakora bene ibi bikorwa nk'uko Rkelly abikora. Ati nubwo byatwara igihe kingana gute ukuboko k'ubutabera kuzabacakira ntaho bazacikira. Umucamanza ati guhamwa n'ibyaha kuri uyu munsi biratuma Rkelly aba ruharwa ibihe byose. Ni ruharwa cyangwa se inyamaswa yakoresheje kwamamara kwayo n'ubutunzi yari ifite mu guhiga abana batoya n'abadafite intege n'abadafite kirengera kugira ngo bifashishe mwishimisha mu birirye. Uyu mwanzuro w'urukiko uje nyuma y'imyaka 13 yose Rkelly agizwe umwere mu byaha yaregwaga byo gusambanya umwana akanamushyira muri filime z'urukozasoni. Urubanza rwaberaga muri leta ya Rkelly kuri iyi nshuro ibyaha hafi ya byose byamuhamye ni ibyagaragajwe muri documentary yitwa Surviving Rkelly cyangwa se kurokoka Rkelly. Filime yagiye hanze muri 2019. Ni inkuru kandi ikubiyemo ibirego by'ihohoterwa abagore benshi bavuga yuko bakorewe barimo n'uwahoze ari uwo bashakanye. Inyandiko zikomeza zigaragaza yuko abantu bakorewe ibyaha babaga ari abantu Rkelly yabaga yatoranyije mu bitabiraga ibitaramo bye cyangwa se biyemezaga kwifatanya nawe nyuma yo guhabwa ubufasha mu mwuga wa muzika. Akabemera yuko agomba kubazamura akabigira ibyabamamare. Aba bantu bamagaraga kwinjira mu raferi za Rkelly bahitaga bisanga bameze nk'abafunzwe bagomba gukurikiza amahame n'amategeko ye atagomba guhinduka. Uretse ibyaha bijyanye n'ihohoterwa rishingiye ku gitsina no gucuruza abantu bajyana muri filime z'urukozasoni, Rkelly yahamijwe icyaha cy'ubusahuzi, urugomo, ubucuruzi bunyuranyijwe n'amategeko n'ibindi. Ni ikirego ubusanzwe n'ubundi kirego abantu bari mu mashyirahamwe y'ubugizi bwa nabi buba bwateguwe. Ese uyu Rkelly niki cyaba cyishe inyuma yo gukatirwa gufunga imyaka ingana itya? Mu gihe cy'iburanisha abacamanza basobanuye uburyo ki abareberaga Rkelly cyangwa se ba manager be n'abandi bantu babanaga nawe mu muzika mu ruziga rw'ibyaha bakoranaga babaga bamufasha mu gukora bimwe muri ibi byaha, nabo bakaba bashobora kuzakurikiranwa n'amategeko. Hanze y'urukiko ibintu byari byahinduye isura. Abafana b'umuhanzi Rkelly bari babukereye ubwo abacamanza barimo bitegura uko uru rubanza ruza gusomwa. Inkoramutima za Rkelly zari ziri hanze zicuranga umuziki we n'ibyuma bitandukanye bagaragaza yuko ashobora kuba ari umwere cyangwa se bamurenganya, bakaba bamuri inyuma. Data Traffic, umunyamakuru ukorera BBC muri UK, yarabegereye baraganira ababaza uko biyumva nyuma y'umwanzuro w'urukiko. Abantu bari mu bugizi bwa nabi, Rkelly we akaba kirezwe ku giti cye. Imiryango y'ibanga mu byinshi inyuma y'uru rubanza. Abashinjacyaha basobanura uburyo cy'abarinzi ba Rkelly abarebereraga inyungu ze cyangwa manager be n'abandi bantu babanaga nawe mu ruziga rw'ibyaha bakoranaga babaga bamufasha mu gukora bimwe muri ibi byaha, nabo bakaba bashobora gukurikiranwa n'amategeko. Hanze y'urukiko ibintu byari byahinduye isura. Abafana b'umuhanzi Rkelly bari babukereye ubwo abacamanza barimo bategura neza ko baza gusoma uyu mwanzuro w'uru rukiko. Inkoramutima za Rkelly zari ziri hanze zicuranga umuziki we n'ibyuma bitandukanye bagaragaza yuko ashobora kuba ari umwere cyangwa se bamuri inyuma. Umunyamakuru Data Traffic ukorera BBC muri New York muri Amerika yarabegereye baraganira babaza uko biyumva nyuma y'uyu mwanzuro w'urukiko. Umunyamakuru avuga ko byagaragara yuko bababaye cyane, gusa bemeza ko bakomeza kumufana uko byagenda kose n'ubwo baba muri gereza. Ku rundi ruhande ariko abakorewe ibyaha na Rkelly bo bari bishimye cyane, nabo bari hafi y'urukiko bagaragaza akamwenyu baseka bavuga ko ubutabera bukoze akazi kabo. Umwunganizi mu by'amategeko wa Rkelly, Rkelly yabwiye abanyamakuru yuko uyu muhanzi yari yizeye yuko araza kugira umwere. Gusa ubwo yasomerwaga umwanzuro Rkelly wari uri mu rukiko nawe ntabwo yigeze agaragaza gutungurwa n'ibyo yasomye. Ese yakiriye gute ikatwa ry'uru rubanza? Ubwo Rkelly yari amaze kugera mu rubanza hajemo n'ikindi kirego gishya kivuga ukuntu yaje kubona impapuro zimwemerera gushyingiranwa n'umukunzi we Aria wari utarageza ku myaka y'ubukure. Uyu nguyu Aria yaje kugwa mu mpanuka y'indege mu mwaka w'2001 nyuma yo gushyingiranwa na Rkelly mu myaka 15 gusa. Amakuru yigeze gutangazwa na Yahoo yavuze ko Aria yigeze gutangwaho igitangwa na kenshi burya ibitugaragara mu maso yacu ntabwo ibyo bintu biba biri kuba. N'abahereye hamwe bavuga yuko Rkelly umunsi nawe ari umwe mu bakurikiranwa n'ingaruka zo kujya mu gusa nk'ibi usanga bidafite ibimenyetso bigaragara cyane kandi bihagije byatuma umwemera nk'ibi. Mu nkuru ngufiya ikinyamakuru Spreaker.com cyashyize ahagaragara havugamo uburyo ki Rkelly yagiye ashinjwa gusambanya abana, gufata abagore ku ngufu n'ifumu ndetse no guhohotera abo babaga bakundana. Iki kinyamakuru kikavuga yuko nubwo umwanzuro ku byaha nk'ibi ngibi utangwa n'urukiko ariko ukibaza impamvu umuntu Rkelly isi yongeje neza akaba icyamamare akagira akamamara kuko akongeraho abandi bantu nka Ben Cosby, umuhanzi Prince, Michael Jackson n'abandi bagiye batandukanye. Ibikorwa byabo byagiye birangira ku buryo budasobanutse, abantu bakarangiza ubuzima bwabo ku buryo budasobanutse kandi birangirire bakaburangiza nabi cyane kurushaho. Urugamba rw'imyidagaduro ukuntu ruteye ni imashini ikoreshwa na Sekibi aho ruva rukagera. Imiryango y'umwijima ikorera mu isi byose mu birangamiye no gukorana n'abantu b'ibirangirire. Birashoboka yuko ari impamvu ituma mu minsi ya nyuma y'ubuzima bwabo bahitamo kubasoza cyangwa se kubarangiza gutya nabi babakojeje isoni. Iyo winjiye muri uruganda rwa muzika hari ubwo usanga wasabwe gukina no kuririmba mu buryo runaka abantu bashaka mu nyungu zabo bidahuye na gatoya n'uko we watangiye gukora akazi kawe. Iyo abantu bo mu isi y'umwijima barangiye kukwigarurira iba ari inzira yoroshye cyane kuri bo yo kugera ku bakunzi bawe nk'icyamamare nyine batangira kugukoresha. Rkelly na bagenzi be bamwe na bamwe b'ibyamamare nka Tupac, Michael Jackson n'abandi bamaze igihe bagendera ku mategeko yabo n'imbaraga za sekibi, ariko nabyo byafashije abahanzi kwamamara cyane byari nk'ikiguzi. Rkelly n'abandi batandukanye nka Michael Jackson, Tupac ndetse n'abandi bashatse gutera umugongo Illuminati cyangwa se iyo miryango y'umwijima kubera ko babonaga ahantu bari kugana ari ahantu habi cyane, kandi ibi ngibi ubundi ari icyaha kibi gushaka kubatera umugongo kandi warakoranye nabo bigukururira ingaruka nk'izi ngizi. Ibihe by'umwijima nk'ibi ngibi Rkelly ari kwinjiramo nako bishobora kuba byaragendekeye umuhanzi Michael Jackson kimwe n'abandi bashinjwaga ibyo bikorwa byo kubatera umugongo. Kuba yarakoresheje ubwamamare bwe agakoresha abagore n'abana mu mibonano mpuzabitsina ari nako bacuruza mu byaha by'ubusambanyi n'icuruzwa ry'abantu. Ibi byose ni ibyaha biri kuregwa uyu Rkelly. Ese koko ni ukuri? Yaburanaga ku rwego rw'igihugu muri Eastern District ya New York. Robert Sylvester Rkelly, umuhanzi w'icyamamare waririmbye indirimbo nyinshi zakunzwe n'abantu mu njyana ya R&B. Mu byaha byose yashinjwe gukora 9 byaramuhamye, bivuga ko yabikoze mu myaka igera muri 20 mu gihe cy'ubwamamare bwe. Ibi birego birimo 8 bijyanye n'icuruzwa ry'abantu hagamijwe kubakoresha imibonano mpuzabitsina n'ikindi kimwe kijyanye no gukora ubucuruzi bunyuranyije n'amategeko. Abashinja 11 barimo abagore 9 n'abagabo 2 nibo bagaragaye mu rubanza rwa Rkelly mu byumweru 6 bishize batanga ubuhamya ku bikubiye mu ihohoterwa no gukozwa isoni mu bikorwa by'ubusambanyi bahuye nabyo byose ibiganza bya Rkelly. Nyuma rero y'iminsi 2 inteko y'abacamanza yiga ku mwanzuro ugomba gufatwa yaje kwanzura yuko Rkelly ibyaha byose aregwa bimuhama uko ari 9. Azakatirwa ku itariki 4 z'ukwezi kwa 5 umwaka utaha 2022, aho ashobora kwisanga ubuzima bwe bwose busigaye ku isi agomba kubumara muri gereza cyangwa se akakatirwa imyaka iri muri za 40 kuko CNN ibitangaza.
I'm not disrespecting her by saying she's not telling the truth. I'm just being honest. Somebody sent me something on my phone and said that I hog-tied her. I don't know how to hog-tie people. What would I hog-tie? My kids is listening to this, all of this nonsense, and I ain't been spending no time with them. This is real. This is not a lie. What kind of woman would tear down a dad who's trying to have a relationship with their kids? You know how many kids need a relationship with their father?
What is your relationship with your children?
Oh my God.
What is your relationship with your children?
Zero. But I know my kids love me. And I'm in love with my kids. I love my kids.
And our Chicago station WBBM reports that investigators are looking into a new allegation against Kelly. Detroit detectives are investigating an allegation that Kelly, quote, engaged in sexual intercourse with a 13-year-old in 2001. The woman, who is now 30, says Kelly gave her herpes when she was 17. Kelly told CBS that everyone accusing him of physical and sexual abuse is lying. The 2 women who live with Rkelly are defending him to CBS News. They say they love Kelly, but their families argue that they were brainwashed. Jerika Duncan has more.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me.
Following Rkelly's emotional interview with Gayle King.
Hey, Joycelyn, this is Mommy.
Joycelyn Savage called her family for the first time in years to let them know she's okay.
I'm just letting you know I need you guys to understand that I'm very happy. How will we know you're happy when we don't hear from you in 2 years? Well, I have to go now. I love you, Joycelyn.
Kelly says he's in a relationship with 23-year-old Savage and 21-year-old Azriel Clary. Both live with Kelly.
What I saw on TV this morning about his way he acted when he got upset, I can only imagine what he does behind closed doors.
Less than an hour before Savage called her family, they held a news conference urging their daughter to contact them. Timothy Savage is Joycelyn's father.
But as a parent, our thing is to make sure that she's healthy, safe, and sound, and make sure she's fine.
Kelly said he met Joycelyn after her father brought her to one of the singer's concerts when she was 19.
I didn't go looking for a Joycelyn Savage. I was doing my show. He brought her and asked a friend of mine to put her on the stage with Rkelly.
That is absolutely not true.
Gerald Briggs is the Savage family attorney.
At no point has Mr. Kelly ever met Timothy Savage.
Well, joining me now is attorney Jesse Weber. He's host of the Law and Crime Network. Jesse, at first I gotta ask you, why would anybody agree to do an interview like this?
So the way that I look at it is, what was the goal here? And I think it was to garner sympathy, but then the question is to garner sympathy from who? There's one avenue to say, hey, if this goes to trial, maybe we can taint a jury pool. Maybe we can get some supporters of Rkelly on that pool, and maybe this tape will help. I don't think that's the best way. The most pressing issue for him right now is finances. If he goes out there and he made a credible public statement that he's the victim here, maybe there's going to be renewed interest in his music. Maybe the sales will go up. We saw that happen with the documentary coming out. And if that's going to help him in his financial case when he's, facing all these legal charges, maybe that'll help. The other thing, and this is just my opinion, he's a performer. And maybe what he is doing is making a plea to his accusers who would eventually testify against him in trial. Think twice. Remember who I am. Remember what we had. And think about that before you go forward with this. It's not too late. A part of me believes that might have been what the goal was here.
I'm not sure that they achieved that goal with this interview.
No, because again, anything that he said could be used
I was just going to ask you, could Gail's interview with Rkelly be used in court? Is it?
Of course. I mean, for what purpose? I mean, to show that he completely denies these allegations? Sure. The way that I would see it working more against him is, let's say he's convicted, and let's say there's a sentencing phase. And it's a question of what should the penalty be. They could show this interview and said he lied to the media. He never showed remorse for what he did. He still doesn't think he did anything wrong, and that could hurt him ultimately in a sentence.
There's a clip I'd actually like to play where he talks about double jeopardy. I want to get you to weigh in on that as well.
People are going back to my past, okay? That's exactly what they're doing. They're going back to the past, and they're trying to add all of this stuff now to that, to make all of the stuff that's going on now feels real to people.
But the past is relevant with you with underage girls.
Absolutely no, it's not.
Why?
Because for one, I beat my case. When you beat something, you beat it.
You were acquitted.
You can't double jeopardy me like that. You can't. It's not fair. It's not fair to nobody. When you beat your case, you beat your case.
Double jeopardy, of course, is where you can't be tried twice for the same case. Does he have a point there?
Okay. So if he was saying that the same person who was involved in that earlier child pornography case is coming forward now for the same kind of event, sure. But just because you got acquitted for a sexual assault claim all those years ago doesn't mean you can't be brought up on charges of other sexual assault claims. That doesn't quite work. And I know that his attorney has come forward and said, well, if it's the same woman, it's the same tape, he may have an argument there. But you're talking about multiple people here and events that span a course of time. So that argument really isn't going to fly for him.
We know just typically sexual assault cases are very hard to prove. In this case, we do know that the Cook County state's attorneys have DNA evidence. How will that help this case?
Okay, so putting him with her is the essential element here. If you can say that they had a sexual relationship, that's key. How else are they going to show it? Through video footage? I mean, that's going to be huge to see as well. The question that I'm interested in, and what I kind of saw from his video, is to say that these women have been lying, or at the very least, at one point he said, it's not about young for me, it's about legal for me. So I wonder if he's going to say, I always thought that they were of age, I made sure they were of age, and it maybe in a twisted argument he could say, no matter what you hear on that video, no matter what it is, this kind of weird talk that we have, I always knew that she was overage, but me personally, I wanted to think of something else. That's one argument to be made for him.
CBS's Chicago station WBBM is reporting that there is another young woman who is being investigated that claims that she had sex with him when she was just 13. If Rkelly faces, how does it work? When you've got accusations in multiple states, how do you move forward with that?
Well, if you're talking about Michigan, I mean, it clearly falls within the statute of limitations, meaning they can bring that charge against them. And we've seen people who've been charged with crimes across multiple jurisdictions. you know, it'd be interesting to see how, if they could bring it into a Chicago trial. I don't think that would happen. I think he might have to face trial in separate states, but I wonder if they'll see how this case goes forward first and whether we'd have to face a separate trial in another state. The bottom line is, though, no matter what happens, many times we'll see people who are convicted, and in a sentencing phase, I mean, we saw it in Bill Cosby, people who have accused him of something, they don't even have to go to trial for that. It can help in the sentencing phase for the state, because they'd be like, he has been accused by multiple women. Let's show who they are, and that would hurt him in a sentencing phase. And again, he faces up to 30 to 70 years, potentially, if he's convicted on all these counts.
You know, one thing I just don't get, just in the past 24 hours, Rkelly is now behind bars for failing to pay child support. How is it possible that a man who just in January, his music streams were up 116% after the documentary came out, how does he not have money?
Okay, so without knowing his exact financial situation, a lot of times people are surprised by musicians that they are just not raking in a ton of money. It can get very complicated when it turns about royalties and who owns the rights to what. There are a lot of different organizations, but he is a songwriter, a performer, a publisher. You would seem that the income would be coming through. The one thing that I've noticed is it's possible that, let's say that the royalty streams he has is a form of security on loans. I've seen that happen before, and I've heard that maybe that might be the case for him, that it's not as much money as you would think coming directly to him. And if he has been in situations where he has been improperly advised, or as he claims people were taking money from him, there could be an argument that he might not have as much money as we are all led to believe, or this could be just him making something up.
Ni urubanza rwatwaye ibyumweru bitandatu ruburanishwa, rufata iminsi igera kuri 2 kugira ngo hafatwe umwanzuro. Icyamamare Rkelly cyahamwe n'ibyaha cyo kuba yarakoresheje ubwamamare bwe agakoresha abagore n'abana imibonano mpuzabitsina, ari nako bacuruza mu byaha by'ubusambanyi n'icuruzwa ry'abantu. Rkelly ni imiryango y'ibanga ishaka kumurangiza gutya. Yaburanaga muri Eastern Province ya New York. Robert Sylvester Rkelly, umuhanzi w'icyamamare muri Amerika waririmbye indirimbo nyinshi zakunzwe n'abantu mu njyana ya R&B. Ibyaha byose ari 9 byaramuhamye. Ni ibyaha bivuga ko yabikoze mu myaka igera muri 20 mu gihe cy'ubwamamare bwe. Ibi birego birimo 8 bijyanye n'icuruzwa ry'abantu hagamijwe kubakoresha imibonano mpuzabitsina n'ikindi kimwe cyo gukora ubucuruzi bunyuranyije n'amategeko. Abashinja 11 barimo abagore 9 n'abagabo 2 nibo bagaragaye mu rubanza mu byumweru 6 bishize, batanga ubuhamya ku bikubiye mu ihohoterwa no mu kozwe isoni mu bikorwa by'ubusambanyi bahuye nabyo byose mu biganza bya Rkelly. Nyuma rero y'iminsi 2 intego y'abacamanza yiga ku mwanzuro ugomba gufatwa, yaje kwanzura yuko Rkelly ibyaha byose aregwa bimuhama uko ari 9. Azakatirwa ku itariki 4 z'ukwezi kwa 5 umwaka utaha 2022. Ashobora kwisanga ubuzima bwe bwose busigaye ku isi agomba kubamara muri gereza, cyangwa se bakamukatira imyaka myinshi cyane iri muri za 40 nk'uko CNN bitangaza. Ese koko Rkelly azakatirwa imyaka myinshi? Inteko y'abacamanza yasanze Rkelly ariwe wari umuyobozi wa gahunda zose z'urugomo n'itoteza byatumye abagore n'abana basambanywa ku ngufu, abandi bagakorerwa ihohoterwa ritandukanye rishingiye ku gitsina. Uyu muhanzi wamamaye cyane mu ndirimbo yatsindiyemo n'ibihembo byinshi cyane nka Believe I Can Fly, The Storm Is Over, The Sinners of Victory n'izindi nyinshi. Inteko y'abacamanza yasanze yaracuruje abagore muri Leta Zunze Ubumwe za Amerika mu leta atandukanye, maze anakoresha abana za filime z'urukozasoni. Hari umugore umwe watanze ubuhamya ko afungiranye na Rkelly agahatwa ibiyobyabwenge akanasambanywa ku gahato. Mu magambo yanditse nyuma y'uru rubanza yavuze yuko yari amaze igihe kinini cyane yihishahisha kubera iterabwoba n'inkeke yashyirwagaho yuko ashobora no kwicwa. Byatangiye kumukorerwa kuva yatangira kugaragara avuga ibirego bye kuri Rkelly. Uyu mugore wagaragajwe mu rukiko nka Sonja yaranditse ati, ubu noneho niteguye gutangira kubaho ntabwo bafite, ndetse natangiye n'inzira yo gukira ibikomere natewe. Uyu ni umwe mu batangabuhamya babyivugiye mu magambo yabo. Inyandiko z'ubucamanza zigaragaza yuko ari ibikomere bikomeye cyane Rkelly yateye abantu yahohoteye. izi nyandiko zivuga yuko abantu yahohoteye babaga barabaye nk'imbohe ze, ntabwo babaga bemerewe kurya cyangwa se ngo bakoreshe ubwogero atabibahereye uburenganzira. Niwe ubwe wagenzuraga akanahitamo imyenda bagomba kwambara, ibyatuma abagabo bagomba kumwita papa wabo. Gloria Arets, umunyamategeko wari uhagarariye abahohotewe benshi, yabwiye abanyamakuru ati, maze imyaka 47 yose nkora bene aka kazi mu bijyanye n'amategeko. Muri icyo gihe cyose nakurikiranye ba ruharwa mu gusambanya abantu ku ngufu, bagiye bibasira abana n'abagore, ariko ntababeshye muri aba ngaba ruharwa bose nakurikiranye, Bwana Robert Rkelly niwe mubi kurusha abandi bose nabonye. Abantu bose nahuye nabo mu nkiko. Ese nyuma yo gusoma urubanza mu kiganiro n'abanyamakuru hanze y'urukiko, umucamanza Jacqueline Caceres yavuze yuko inteko y'abacamanza ibyo yanakoze buriya ari ukohereza ubutumwa abandi bagabo b'ibikomerezwa bakorera bene ibikorwa nk'uko Robert Rkelly abikora. Ati nubwo byatwara igihe kingana gute, ukuboko k'ubutabera kuzabacakira, ntaho bazacikira. Umucamanza ati guhamwa n'ibyaha kuri uyu munsi biratuma Robert Rkelly aba ruharwa ibihe byose. Ni ruharwa cyangwa se inyamaswa yakoresheje kwamamara kwayo n'ubutunzi yari ifite mu guhiga abana batoya n'abadafite intege n'abadafite kirengera kugira ngo ibifashishe mu ishimisha mubiri rye.
Rkelly, at the time 27 years old, had just skyrocketed to #1 with his breakout hit, Bump and Grind. He was about to embark on his first tour as a solo performer and was auditioning backup dancers.
I remember I danced the paint off the walls. They started clapping and he was like, you got the job.
Just 19 years old, it was her dream gig. Andrea says she would quickly rise from backup to principal dancer and eventually choreographer. Shortly thereafter, she says her then boss would seek a more intimate relationship.
I do remember when he said he fell in love. He said, I was sitting on the back of the two of us reading the Bible. He said, and you remind me of my mama.
At this point, you hadn't seen any kind of indication that there may be any kind of violence or rudeness.
No, but what I did see is a man who's very controlled.
Rkelly would continue to climb the Billboard charts, soon becoming a household name with the release of this crossover mega hit.
I believe I can fly. After I Believe I Could Fly, we were married, but at that point I had seen him go from just an all-black audience knowing who he was to now you're doing Space Jam, you're getting Grammy nods, winning Grammys.
Rkelly, I Believe I Could Fly.
Oh, wow.
At a certain point, your marriage started going down. When was that point?
When I was pregnant with my first child. He locked me in a bathroom, and I slept in the bathtub.
Outwardly, Kelly was the portrait of a doting father, cradling his baby girl Joanne in Celine Dion's I'm Your Angel. And even though they would go on to have 2 more children, Drea says their marriage was crumbling. And then in 2002,
Rkelly was charged today with 21 counts of child pornography.
A tape emerges, reportedly showing Rkelly engaged in sexual acts with a minor. When the videos surfaced and the allegations surfaced of the child pornography charges, did you believe it?
No, I'm thinking to myself, that's impossible. But again, he kept me very sheltered.
Did some part of you have a nagging suspicion?
I'm too busy dealing with my own abuse.
Around this time, Rkelly would sit down for an interview with ABC News.